sunny Sunday in Cincinnati along the river. It's Arizona Diamondbacks baseball, brought to you by Sanderson Ford. D-backs today hoping to end their visit to the Queen City on a winning note before it's off to Texas to continue this long road trip. Join us for the D-backs and the Reds on Fox Sports Arizona. Good morning from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthew, Bob Renly along the way. This was supposed to be the road trip on which the D-backs got fat and happy against three last-place teams, but it's not worked out that way here in Cincinnati, where the Diamondbacks this morning need a win to avoid a sweep, Bob, and they'll hand the baseball to the red-hot Zack Godley.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that about a month ago we were worried about Zack Godley's spot in the rotation, but boy, has he turned it around recently. Over his last two starts, he has been absolutely dominating. 14 1/3 innings pitched against Texas and Philadelphia, has given up only 2 runs on 7 hits, punched out 17, and the key fact for Zack Godley, only 2 walks. He's been finding the strike zone with much more consistency.
He and Alex Avila has become quite the combo, and Avila is behind the plate again here today for Zack Godley. For the Reds, it's Luis Castillo. Diamondbacks saw him at the end of May in Phoenix, and they got the win.
Yeah, they beat him up a little bit, pitched 5 innings in that game, gave up 5 runs on 4 hits. He walked 3 batters in that game. This guy has a plus changeup. It's his strikeout pitch, and it's a good one.
A chance to salvage the finale in Cincinnati when we come back. The D-backs and the Reds on Fox Sports Arizona.
D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home runs score free Jumbo Jacks, only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By One AZ Credit Union. Let's bank together. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today.
Along the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati, Alex Avila and Zach Godley, your battery for the Diamondbacks in the finale from Cincinnati. And the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona.
And welcome back to Great American Ballpark. Zach Godley will take the mound for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's been excellent his last 2 times out. Well, the Diamondbacks have not gained any ground on the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have lost their last 2 to the Rockies. So it's the Rockies that are 1.5 back of Arizona and LA, who are still tied atop the NL West. Well, we hear a lot from players in the form of cliche that every day is the same. Every win means the same, and they all do count the same, but when you get into mid-August, there is a bit of urgency, and especially when you're here on a road trip and you're maybe expecting to beat a team like the Cincinnati Reds, who have struggled. So I asked the manager and Daniel Descalzo, who's in the lineup here today, about the fact that this team, yes, there is a definite sense of urgency right now.
As you're drilling down towards the end of the season, you gotta remember that every game played is extremely important. Not that we discount games early in the season, but we know what's right in front of us. We know that we're in the middle of a race. We've earned that. We've worked hard to be in this race, and it's not any time to blink or get glossy-eyed. We just got to go out and play our type of baseball, and that's what I want our guys to do. I want them to focus on every night the same way they have, and I think we'll be ready to go today.
The urgency, I feel like, has been there. You guys talk about it and having it, but is there another level, another gear maybe you find when you're in August?
Well, you don't want to try to do, too much, and then you get that feeling of pressing. But it is crunch time now. We're almost to the middle of August. We're tied for first place, but we want to try to do something to separate ourselves and really put together a good stretch of baseball heading into September.
Well, guys, I think it basically means keep your eye on the prize, and it doesn't matter what you've done, even though you've gotten to this point. Obviously, all of those wins matter, but as Daniel Descalzo said, it's crunch time. Steve and Bob, will send it up to you.
Okay, Jody, thanks very much. Sunny blue skies overhead, 85 degrees. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly, Jody Jackson with you, D-backs baseball. Brought to you by Sanderson Ford. Diamondbacks have not been swept by the Reds since 2012. They haven't been swept in Cincinnati since 2007. Time to win the finale. Here's the lineup that can get it done. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Left-handed hitting John Jay leading it off out in right field. Paul Goldschmidt will be at first base. David Peralta out in left field. A.J. Pollock in center. Daniel Descalso, Jody just talked to him a moment ago. He'll be at third base this afternoon. Ketel Marte at second. Nick Ahmed at short. Alex Avila once again behind the plate for right-hander Zach Godley.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the Reds, Luis Castillo, 25-year-old right-hander. The record is a little deceiving. He's got a good mid to upper 90s fastball and a changeup that's become one of the best in the league. John Jay leads it off. There's that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and we're underway.
Yeah, Castillo has surrendered 20 home runs this season, so he is prone to giving up the long ball. I guess that can be excused pitching in this ballpark.
This is inside, and it's 1-1. Jay's first appearance in the series. Steven Souza Jr. gets the day off. Torrey wanted to give a couple of guys one extra day of rest heading into some heat in Texas coming up this week. 2 games against the Rangers, then it's off to San Diego for 4 against the Padres to complete this road trip. Still 1-2, all heat from Castillo. As we mentioned at the top of the show, D-backs beat Luis Castillo at Chase Field. That was at the end of May, when he was also coincidentally matched up against Zach Godley. Greg Gibson is our plate umpire today, calling the balls and strikes. Vic Carapazza at first base. Jordan Baker is at second, and the crew chief Jerry Lane is the third base ump today. John Jay doing what John Jay does.
That's a thing of beauty. Hey, you talk about the sense of urgency at this time of year, and you know, John Jay, Daniel Descalso, a couple of guys that have been through it many times in their careers. Finish up a regular season, looking forward to the postseason.
This is unbelievable. Just spraying souvenirs all over the yard. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And Diamondbacks, as Jody mentioned, caught a break last night. Ryan McMahon, a walk-off home run at Coors to beat the Dodgers. So the D-backs maintain their share of the NL West lead as Jay dunks one into left field, a leadoff single. E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the Reds defense.
Preston Tucker will be in left field this afternoon. Billy Hamilton out in center. Mason Williams over in right field. Eugenio Suarez will be at third base. Jose Peraza at short. Scooter Gennett and Joey Votto on the right side of the infield, with Tucker Barnhart doing the catching for right-hander Luis Castillo.
Paul Goldschmidt, 278 and 24 homers for Goldie. First pitch swinging, tops it up to second. Scooter Gennett's underneath. Right sky above. Time bomb for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, day game after a night game, and it's the harsh light of day here in Cincinnati. Very frustrating, disappointing loss last night. I think a lot of guys were a little frayed after that ball game last night, including the skipper. But hopefully everything got showered away after the ball game. A good night's sleep. Come back today under the sunshine and put a whooping on these Reds.
Well, here's one of the big bats, David Peralta, hitting third at 302 now with 20 homers. John Jay at first, 1 out. Castillo working from the far third base side of the rubber. Fastball misses, 1-0. David's long home run to right field last night, his only hit in the series. It came in the 8th inning, gave the D-backs a brief 3-2 lead before Cincinnati got 4 in the home half to win it 6-3. And this was an absolute Bob no doubter off the bat of Peralta last night.
I mean, he hit it up there on the back of that tunnel where the fans come out from underneath the concourse. It was way back there. Do it again.
His 4th home run this month. The 2-0 misses away. 3 balls and no strikes. A.J. Pollock on deck. After Peralta had come up with that big hit to get you the lead late, it was doubly painful to give it right back. Torrey this morning telling us one of the more frustrating types of games D-backs have played all year. Swinging on 3-0. He thought Diamondbacks just gave Cincinnati too many gift runs last night. Couple of situations with mental breakdowns, really in both games of this series. So it's been a difficult start to the road trip.
And some of the mental breakdowns were the same mental breakdowns we saw at home on that last homestand. Just backing up bases, a few fundamentals of the game that they need to tighten up a little bit.
97, Castillo misses. 2 on and 1 out for AJ. AJ Pollock batting .286 with 15 home runs. AJ 3 hits in the series, all singles. He's got Jay at second, Peralta at first, and 1 out. Castillo mixes up his 2 fastballs. You'll see the 4-seamer and the hard 2-seam sinker about 60% of the time. The changeup has become a real weapon for him. He's among the major league leaders in strikeouts with that changeup. Gets a lot of swings and misses with it. Ahead of AJ 0-1. Fastball in. Castillo's changeup, a very effective strike pitch when he faced the Diamondbacks earlier this year. Despite the fact he got the loss in that start, 4 earned runs in 5 innings. Gave up a first-inning home run to Daniel Descalso in that game, and Descalso's on deck.
Castillo also has a slider that at times is a real good pitch for him. At other times he should probably just stick it in his back pocket. It's by far his 4th best pitch that he has out there. But on a given day, if he's got a good feel for it, you might see a few sliders. Basically going to be high velocity and a straight changeup.
He has pitched very well as of late. Just 5 runs allowed in his last 4 starts. Ahead of AJ 1-2. That one down and away. Castillo gets a swing and miss. His first strikeout, 2 down.
It's a straight changeup, not even close to the strike zone, over near the left-handed batter's box. But Castillo sells it so well with that arm action. You think it's going to be a fastball on the outside corner. By the time you swing, it's in the dirt.
Here's Descalso, 256, 9 homers. One of those home runs coming in his first at bat against Castillo back in May at Chase Field. 2 on and 2 out. Daniel flied out as a pinch hitter in Friday's series opener, his only appearance in this series. Day off today for Eduardo Escobar. Fastball fouled away, and it's 0-2. This is driven deep to center field. Billy Hamilton backing up at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Daniel Descalso makes it 3-0 D-backs. He did it to Castillo again.
We talked about David Peralta's home run last night being a no-doubter. That was a no-doubter to straightaway center field. Oh, man, he barreled up a ball out there on the outside corner. Not a bad pitch that time by Castillo. Just a better piece of hitting by Daniel Descalso to go out there and drive that ball way over the 404 mark in center.
That's a big-time Jumbo Jack. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Ketel Marte looks at strike one. Number 10 on the year for Descalso. And the D-backs have the early 3-0 lead. Marte down 0-2. Ketel 253. He's got 10 homers.
Boy, this is what so many teams have done against the Diamondbacks starting pitching. High pitch count in the first inning. Castillo already up to 23. 24.
And we saw Robbie Ray really have to work early in that first inning last night. Robbie needed 106 pitches just to get through 5 innings.
That Daniel Descalso home run, estimated distance of 422 feet to straightaway center.
Deepest part of the ballpark here at Great American Ballpark. So Descalso, the last 2 times he has faced Castillo, has homered against him in the first inning. Last time at Chase Field at the end of May was a 2-run homer. This one in Cincinnati makes it 3-0 D-backs. Castillo bounces back, gets the strikeout of Marte, but Descalso's 10th makes it 3-0 Diamondbacks. The early lead for Zach Godley in Cincinnati. Zach Godley the early lead. Godley, your Ram truck starter for the Diamondbacks. 12 wins, a 4.35 ERA. Zach has lost only once in his last 11 starts.
And we mentioned his last couple, he has just been flat dominating out there on the mound, snapping off that curveball, spotting the cutter on the corners. His command has much improved.
Here's the shortstop, Jose Peraza, leads it off for the Reds. Bunt, pulls back, takes his strike, 0-1. Peraza, 283 hitter, 6 home runs, already a career high for him. He's got 3 hits in the series, all singles. Here's that cutter for a strike just off the corner, but Greg Gibson says it's 0-2. Godley outstanding in his last start. Monday against the Phillies at Chase Field. 2 runs in 7 1/3. Walked 1, got 7 strikeouts, settled for a no decision. Diamondbacks, you'll recall, won that game in 14 innings. A little over 4.5 hours. Here's the Reds lineup presented by your Valley Chevy dealer.
Peraza at the plate will be playing shortstop. Joey Votto, the first baseman, hitting next. Scooter Gennett, the second baseman. Eugenio Suarez at third. Mason Williams out in right field. Tucker Barnhart doing the catching. Preston Tucker will be out in left field. Luis Castillo, the pitcher, batting 8th. And Billy Hamilton, the center fielder, batting 9th.
Peraza punches that one foul. Zach Godley, last couple of starts, much improved fastball command with that sinker cutter combo. And he's really done a great job landing his curveball for strikes, which makes it an even more devastating pitch. Especially when he wants guys to chase it low in 2 strike counts for swings and misses or generate weak contact. You said in the open, Bob, for a while there, it looked like Zach might lose his rotation spot. He has really turned the corner. In the air to center, AJ coming in, and he's got it. AJ Pollock in center for the rest of the D-backs defense. Here's a look brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
AJ will be flanked by David Peralta in left. John Jay in right field this afternoon. Daniel Descalso and Nick Ahmed will be on the left side of the infield with Ketel Marte. Paul Goldschmidt on the right side. Alex Avila behind the plate today for right-hander Zach Godley.
That combination has worked out well lately. Joey Votto back in the starting lineup. 291 and 9 homers. Votto Friday night singled and was walked intentionally. And then last night the Diamondbacks intentionally walked Jose Peraza in the 8th inning to get to Votto, who then delivered an RBI single, and that was a headline news here in Cincinnati.
It's the first time it had happened in 10 years. It was September of 2008 the last time Joey Votto had the batter in front of him walked intentionally to get to National League batting champ contender every year.
That was after Torey Lovullo had brought in the left-hander TJ McFarland on in relief of Archie Bradley. All part of Cincinnati's 4-run 8th inning to come from behind and win last night's ball game. Godley behind now, 2 balls and 1 strike. Votto not in the starting lineup last night. He spent last week dealing with a right knee bruise. He got hit on the knee last Saturday by a Ryan Madsen fastball at Washington. Sat out a couple of games last week. Came back Friday. Not in the starting lineup last night. Back in there today. Checks his swing on the 3-1, and it's full. Scooter Gennett on deck. Votto this year has walked 11 more times than he struck out. He leads the National League in on-base percentage. Bryce Harper, the only player in the league who's walked more than Joey Votto this year. But Godley gets him. First strikeout for Zach, 2 down.
Check swing on the 3-1 count. A very awkward looking swing on this 3-2 curveball. See Joey Votto get embarrassed at the plate very often, but Zach Godley carved him up pretty good that at bat.
Dropped that curveball in there for a strike against one of the best hitters in the league with a full count. Pretty impressive. Scooter Gennett, 310, one of the league's top hitters. He's got 17 homers. Gennett just 1 for 8 in the series. He has walked and singled. Well, you've got the Diamondbacks infielders for the most part back on the edge of the outfield grass where the umpires stand, and right now it looks like there's about a 7-man shift for Scooter Gennett. He hits it deep to center. AJ backing up at the track. He's at the wall, and he's got it
Allowed out number 3. Zach Godley puts up the shutdown inning. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
With the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Daniel Descalso, a 3-run home run in the first inning, has given the Diamondbacks the early lead and matched their scoring output for the first 2 games of this series.
How about that?
Now Nick Ahmed leads off the top of the second against right-hander Luis Castillo.
Nick jumps on a first pitch fastball. It's 0-1. Ahmed, a .244 hitter. He's got 16 homers. Nick has singled twice in the series. This is an unusual position in which Castillo finds himself. He's given up more than 2 earned runs only once in his last 6 starts, but already down 3-zip here. He's coming off a loss in his previous start Sunday at Washington a week ago, but he pitched well. Gave up just 2 runs in 5 1/3. He's not pitched badly at all this summer. He beat the Cardinals 2 starts ago, 7 scoreless, punched out 9. Ahmed lifts this one out to center for Billy Hamilton. One out for Avila. Alex started Friday's series opener here, went 0 for 3. 175 and 5 homers. Reds will put the shift on. 3 infielders on the right side of the infield against Avila. Cincinnati in this series has not done a whole lot of overshifting, really very much at all. Pretty much straight away. StatCast AI powered by EWS. There's a look. Oftentimes when the infield is like this against Avila, the outfield is shaded over toward left center field. That's not the case here. And he hits right into the shift. Jeanette in perfect position, 2 down.
Get to any game with the D-backs Value Pack. The D-backs Value Pack includes a game ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi for just $25. For tickets, visit dbacks.com/value.
Good homestand coming up against the American League West when we get back from this road trip a week from Tuesday. Angels in town at Chase Field for 2, Mariners for 3. Here's Godley, who looks at a fastball for strike 1. poking away with that fastball, mid-90s. 1-2. Just missed the glove of Barnhart down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. High chopper foul with third.
You know, we talked about Luis Castillo and that devastating straight changeup, and he's had a real good mentor. The Reds have Mario Soto, their former great pitcher on the staff, as a special assistant to the general manager. And Mario Soto and Luis Castillo are from the same town in the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
They have Soto not only with Castillo, but some of the other young Reds pitchers, specifically working on that changeup. Mario Soto had a great one.
Godley gets one out pretty deep right center. Hamilton runs it down, as he so often does. 4 in a row set down by Castillo, but the D-backs lead it 3-0.
You have a 1-run lead. The last thing you want to do is hit the leadoff guy to start the inning. You put a guy on, and I mean, throughout the game, every year you look at it, walk, score. And I walked a guy and hit a guy, and those are the 2 guys that scored. The double, you know, you can always question pitch selection, but it's just frustrating. You know, I'm not doing my job, and that's what you have to do.
And the big blow came last night off the bat of Tucker Barnhart, driving this one into left center field. All fastballs in that at bat, which led to the question to Torey Lovello, does he need to use the curveball more? And Torey Lovello said yes. Obviously, the timing gets easier for the hitter when you see all those fastballs. Archie kind of, you can tell he was frustrated and upset after the game, kind of got sarcastic and said, I'll become a thumber, I'll throw all curveballs and change-ups, and you'll see lots of curveballs in my next outing. But basically, he said that he needs to just make better pitches. He needs to go out there and find a way to get it done. The other question, guys, was with that sinker, a fairly new pitch for him, and is it hard to harness? It hit Eugenio Suarez to lead off that inning. He said, no, he feels like he can continue to throw that. So he'll certainly make adjustments, guys, going forward.
We might need to, Jody. That fastball's become pretty predictable, it seems like. You basically know it's coming because Archie doesn't have a whole lot else, although we did see him try and throw a number of curveballs in the game last night. Here's Suarez.
It just appears he doesn't have the same kind of confidence in that pitch that he did earlier this season. It was a legitimate weapon for him early in the season, but lately just hasn't been able to consistently command it.
Just beyond the reach of Goldie. And Suarez has a base hit to start the second. Yeah, Archie got a strikeout against Brandon Dixon in that 8th inning last night. Threw a really impressive looking curveball. But then walk Casale and the long at bat by Barnhart, who, as you mentioned last night, seemed to be timing that fastball
a little bit better as the at-bat went along.
Yeah, it looked like early in the at-bat he was a little tardy on the Archie Bradley fastball. As the at-bat got deeper and deeper, he was getting closer and closer to catching up. In the last 2 pitches, one he fouled off, one he hit for the double. Both 96, almost identical locations up and out over the plate.
Right fielder today is Mason Williams. D-backs have 3 infielders on the right side against him. Williams singled in Friday's opener. He struck out as a pinch hitter last night. There's a look at the defense against him. This is smashed into right center. Suarez stops at second. Couple of singles open things up for the Reds.
A ringing single out there into right center field on a curveball that just stayed up over the inside part of the plate. This play by John Jay to hustle over there in the gap and make sure that did not get to the wall, holding Suarez there at second base.
It looked like the pitch on which Godley struck out Votto in the first. Left that one up a little bit more. So 2 on, nobody out for the guy who did the big damage last night, had the big hit against Archie Bradley, the catcher Tucker Barnhart. And 2-run double in the 8th inning.
How did that miss him, and how did Alex Avila catch it? One of the great mysteries of our game. There's a curveball down around the ankles of Tucker Barnhart. Somehow he skipped rope to get over it, and somehow Alex Avila saw enough of the ball to make the play.
One more look at Alex back there.
Boy, he's done a great job catching Zach Godley, because Zach can spray him around a little bit from time to time, and when Zach sprays him around, he really sprays him around.
Well, needs to find something behind 2-0. We've seen the damage that Barnhart can do. His hit was the backbreaker in the 8th inning last night. Fouls that one away. Rain on the lefty. Barnhart 7 homers, 6 of those coming as a left-hand batter. He's a switch hitter. That was a pretty good pitch, but it's 3-1. Tucker Barnhart in there. Preston Tucker on deck. Big swing and a miss. Godley throwing a lot of breaking balls early the first time through the order. 3-2 on Tucker Barnhart. Got him. Second strikeout for Zach, one down.
A good curveball to finish off the sequence right there. Bounced one in the dirt earlier in the at bat, but when he really needed it, he drops it right in there. Look where these pitches were. The final one right in the middle of the zone, middle of the thighs, swing and a miss.
Our first look at Preston Tucker. We just saw him in Atlanta to close out the season's first half. Shortly after that, he was traded here to Cincinnati at the deadline. 250 and 4 homers for the former Brave. Three infielders on the right side. Tucker part of the deal that sent Adam Duvall to Atlanta. Belted down the line and foul. Tucker missed most of this week after getting hit on the left foot by a Noah Syndergaard pitch. That was Monday. The x-rays they took were negative, but he spent some time in a walking boot this week, and today is playing for the first time since. One ball and one strike.
Got to be careful with that cutter into Preston Tucker. Haven't seen a lot of him, but just by the way he took that last pitch, I think he's got a little John Jay in it. Willing to take one off the body for the good of the team.
Well, last time he did that, he didn't walk for a week.
Yeah, usually Noah Syndergaard's fastball is not what you want to get in front of to take your base.
I wouldn't think so. Fouls that one away. It's 2-2. Pitcher still bats eighth here for Jim Riggleman, so Castillo's the on-deck man. Godley cruised through the first, but laboring here in the second. Ball missed. Full count, 3-2. Back-to-back 3-2 counts for Godley after two singles open up the inning. The pitcher Castillo on deck. Goldie at first, backhands it. They get one, and they can't turn two. Here comes Suarez from third. He will score, and the Reds are on the board.
Man, that's too bad. That should have been an inning-ending double play right there. Goldie got it started. Nick Ahmed with a strong turn and feed back to Zach Godley covering the bag. It looked like Zach just took his eye off the ball. Hit right off the webbing of the glove, bounces into the Reds dugout. That will move Tucker up to second base, and Eugenio Suarez comes around to score the first Reds run of the game.
2 outs for the pitcher Castillo. Got Alex Avila behind the plate. You score that a fielder's choice. They give the error to Ahmed on the throw. E6. Oh, yeah, and no RBI.
That's got to be changed.
I would think. It sure seemed like a good throw.
I mean, by no stretch of the imagination is that an easy play for the pitcher to run off the mound, get over there, try to find the base, try to look back and find the throw coming from your shortstop. But from the replay, you could clearly see Zach was there. He just missed the ball.
And the throw was right there. It was not a throw that pulled him off the bag, even in the slightest regard. Castillo with 5 base hits this year. Waves at that one. One more look at the throw from Nick Ahmed. This was again scored E6. I mean, where else does he have to throw it?
Oh my, hit him right in the glove. Hit him in a bad spot.
Goodness. 1-2. And check. Godley strands one, Reds get one. We head to the third in Cincinnati, 3-1 Diamondbacks.
Let's get to this.
All right.
Enchiladas and Rustler's Roost. How long has that been part of your life?
23 years now. So my wife's family has been in the restaurant business out here for a long time, and they've had a part of Rustler's Roost for many, many years. And it's pretty much a family business. There's another family that's involved with it as well. And then Enchiladas at the point of Squaw Peak, or Pieshua Peak now, has been their restaurant for as many years as we've been, at least I've been married. So both great restaurants. I love them both. Oh, yeah. Great atmosphere. The best view in the valley by far is at Rustler's Roost on top of South Mountain.
And more of the Local 9 right after today's game coming your way after the conclusion of the game here on Fox Sports Arizona, and a great destination for a true Arizona experience. I don't know if you guys have been to those restaurants, but they're fantastic. And Mike and Tammy, they are just tremendous people. A lot of community events, love to give back that way, and through their restaurants they're able to do that.
Thanks, Jody. John Jay looks at a couple of strikes from Luis Castillo to start the third. Yeah, D-backs Local 9 brought to you by CenturyLink follows our game here from Cincinnati as Jay strikes out. Third strikeout for Castillo. Right after the ball game on Fox Sports Arizona, here's Goldie.
Very unusual at bat for Goldie to start this ball game. Swung at the first delivery he saw from Luis Castillo, popped it up to second base. As we know, Goldie normally sees 6, 8, 10 pitches per at bat, but went up there looking for that first pitch fastball and just got under it a little bit.
Is that the kind of thing you have to do every now and again just to keep pitchers honest?
I think so. You know, especially a guy like Goldie. You know, if you take too many first pitch fastball strikes, then obviously a little bit of a disadvantage, especially a guy that has a good secondary pitch like Castillo's changeup. So every now and then, yeah, turn the script, go up there and look for that first pitch and try to do some damage.
Tucker Barnhart back there for the Reds. Goldie punches that one foul. Another fastball at 97. It's 1-2.
I talked about a former teammate of mine, a former great Philly, Manny Trio. Manny Trio would stand up at the plate like he was about to fall asleep and take the first pitch every at bat for a month. Never swing at a first pitch, and then all of a sudden he'd come up with a couple guys on base and ambush that opposing pitcher, hit a home run or drive a ball into the gap. But it was just every so often he would pick his spots when it was time to be aggressive.
Swung at the first pitch the first time. Now he's worked it full the second time. 3-2 with David Peralta on deck. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Castillo. He's now set down 6 in a row.
Season tickets are on sale now for 2019. Secure the best seats for the lowest price and lock-in benefits, including postseason priority, access to player events, discounts on merchandise, and my favorite, much more. Call now at 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacks.com/tickets.
Peralta. Votto knocks it down. Castillo covers. A tremendous play at first by Joey Votto. D-backs in Cincinnati lead it 3-1. It is Redzilla here at the ballpark, and it is a deadly weapon.
That's really cool. I want one of those.
Only bad things could happen. D-backs fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app, take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. That thing does a lap around the park and fires T-shirts about 500 feet up in the air.
Way back in the back of the upper deck.
It's got some serious launch angle.
I'm going to get one of those mounted on top of my truck.
Billy Hamilton. We can drive you around the neighborhood. I mean, this thing is...
You know, you pull up behind a stoplight and the guy in front of you is texting when the light changes.
That never happens.
Boom, 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 boom. Move it!
Guy's got like 9 T-shirts in the back of his pickup truck. How'd these get in there?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Billy Hamilton bats 9th and leads off the 3rd. 231 and 3 homers. 3 singles, couple of RBIs in the series. Yeah, that is a Redzilla. Street legal. Not street legal. Let's keep that on the down low.
Yeah.
just like the Red Dragon.
You know what else is street legal today is the straight changeup from Zach Godley. He's thrown several of them already. They've been really good pitches for him.
Goldie's got it. A foot race to Hamilton. Beats him to the bag. Well, that's kind of a little bit of a new twist for Zach. 40 pitches so far, 24 strikes. He's not walked a batter. He's got 3 strikeouts. Here's Peraza, the shortstop.
Boy, anything more you can add to that advance report, that enhances your chances out there on the mound. I mean, if you think about Zach Godley in the first half of the season, if you were playing against Zach, well, he's fastball, curveball, cutter, curveball, look for curves, 2 strikes. Now all of a sudden he's mixing in the occasional sinker, he's mixing in the occasional straight changeup, and that advance report suddenly gets a little more complicated.
You wonder if that's maybe the combination with Alex Avila and Alex pushing him to throw that pitch a little more often. Now that he's caught Zach 4 or 5 times over the last month or so. Down the line in right, and that is a fair ball in the corner for Peraza. John Jay digs it out. Peraza headed for third, and he is in there with a triple. Out by that Reds bullpen. Down by the right field foul pole. A 1-out triple for the Red shortstop.
I'm not sure if that ball got hung up underneath the fence down there in the corner, but John Jay took a while to get that ball back into the cutoff man, Ketel Marte. You see that ball up against the side wall, and then, yeah, right there got jammed underneath the padding. That gave Peraza just enough time to turn the corner at second and end up at third with a 1-out triple.
And now a chance for Joey Votto. This is the dilemma in which Votto has found himself here for the better part of a decade in Cincinnati. Will he chase a pitch maybe just a hair out of the strike zone to drive that run in? The answer for 10 years has been no. And it upsets some Reds fans and occasional broadcasters.
Yeah, this was Joey Votto's first at bat in the game, and we want to show it to you because it happens so rarely. First pitch fastball for a called strike, then he misses with a couple of off-speed pitches, misses up high with a fastball. That's the check swing on 3-1 and an awkward looking swing and a miss on the 3-2 pitch, a curveball for strike 3. Anytime Joey Votto strikes out, we got to show it to you. That's only his 45th punch out against right-handed pitching this season. Our pitch by pitch brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center's Eye on the Game.
I think we ran out of baseballs. All right, now they got a new supply and we're set to go. Poor ball boy's scrambling back and forth. Greg Gibson's yelling at him.
You know, occasionally on our This Day in Baseball History, we'll go back to the early 1900s, sometimes the late 1800s, and games are played with 1 ball.
Can you imagine?
We can't even get through an at bat with 1 ball.
It's like the Sandlot. You got to go over the fence and get it from the dog.
Uh-huh.
Jose Peraza down there at third, 1 out. 1-1 on Votto, who struck out his first time. This is in the air, deep right center. AJ's got it. Peraza will score, and it's a 3-2 ball game. The RBI for Votto.
Talked about Joey Votto refusing to go out of the strike zone even with a man down there at third base, and when asked about it, he was very honest. He says, I consider my job to get on base. That's my job, and if it's a walk, so be it. And that's not the answer the Reds fans wanted to hear.
Well, not when you're paying him $225 million. Anyway, here's Jeanette. Flat out to center to win the first. The thing about Joey Votto's contract, have you looked at those numbers?
No.
This season, Joey Votto makes $25 million. Now, he's going to be 35 years old next month. September 10th, he'll be 35. Cincinnati owes Votto $25 million per year each of the next 5 seasons after this one. That's a 10-year, $225 million deal. Shift is on against Jeanette. That is stacks on stacks on stacks of paper.
Yes, indeed it is.
For a team that is not by any stretch considered a major market or high revenue generating team. Scalzo and Ahmed switch places with 2 strikes. Neck ball there from Godley. It's 2-2. See if he's got him set up for the curveball here with 2 strikes. Chile went down and spoiled it. "50 pitches for Zach Godley, 30 strikes. 2-2 on Scooter Jeanette. Jeanette leads the Reds in hits this year. He had 115 hits at the All-Star break, the most hits by a Reds player in the first half of the year since Sean Casey in 1999.
Mayor.
Yeah. He has cooled off considerably, though, since the All-Star break. And Godley gets the strikeout. That's his 4th. Reds get one back. It's 3-2 Diamondbacks.
It's time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. Well, the trade deadline came and went. This is one of the greatest trade deadline deals for both teams of all time. Tigers got veteran Doyle Alexander from the Braves for some prospect named John Smoltz. Now, Doyle Alexander went 9-0 with an ERA just over 1.5 with the Tigers. And
John Smoltz went to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
A.J. Pollock, a high fly ball to left center, starts off the 4th.
But, you know, the Tigers got what they needed at the time, and the Braves got a dandy. John Smoltz, the only pitcher with 150 or more wins, 150 or more saves, and 3,000 strikeouts into the Hall of Fame back in 2015.
And you had the great pleasure of catching Doyle Alexander at one point in your career.
Oh, boy, was that fun.
Not so much.
I've told that story in the past. The first start I ever caught Doyle Alexander at Candlestick Park, I went down like catchers did in that time. You go down and catch the last 10 or 15 warm-up throws just to kind of get a look at what's working and what's not working. And Doyle threw his last warm-up pitch and walked from the mound to the plate there in the bullpen. We started walking together back to the dugout on the first base side, and he says, With a runner at second, we're going to use 2-5 pumps, and I'll add above the waist and subtract below the waist. And he turned around and walked away from me, and I had no idea what any of that meant. I hadn't been catching full time in the minor leagues. We always kept the signs very simple down in the minor leagues, and Doyle Alexander dropped that on me, and I was too flabbergasted to even ask somebody what the heck is he talking about.
Oh boy, Castillo's got it going. He struck out 5 now and retired 9 straight. Well, what is if you'll pardon me, a 2-5 pump?
Well, it's a system of signs where you say the first number you see. If I hang down a 2, you say that number in your mind, 2, and now you just add pumps. 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever numbers I put down doesn't matter.
I'm counting the pumps and not the fingers.
Right, yeah. It doesn't matter what fingers come down after the first one. You say the first number in your mind. For example, 3. Now, no matter how many fingers I put down, just count the pumps. So 3, 4, 5, and then it rolls back around to 1. It's very complicated.
I got a headache.
1 is curveball, 2 and 5 are fastballs. I mean, it is a very complicated system and very easy to use once you figure it out. But at that particular point in my professional career, I didn't have it figured out. And then he added and subtracted. So rather than shake off my sign and have me go through another sequence, which I had no idea what I was putting down anyway, he would add and subtract on the mound and then go into his windup. And I mean, most of the time I just goalied up. I had no idea what was coming. Now, eventually I got with our veteran catcher, Milt May, and I said, what in the world is he using for signs out there? And Milt explained it to me. And after that, it was simple. But boy, that first day, you want to talk about flop sweat behind the plate.
Whew. How many wild pitches?
I don't think I had one. That's a good thing. At that point in his career, Doyle didn't really throw hard enough to get it by you.
Good thing for you. Well, Castillo has settled in. He's retired 10 in a row, and the Diamondbacks still lead at 3-2.
Plan now to catch the D-backs Cubs 3-game series at Chase Field September 17th through the 19th. This is a series you do not want to miss. Secure your D-backs Cubs seats now at dbacks.com.
Eugenio Suarez starts off the bottom of the 4th against Zach Godley. Greg Gibson didn't like it. 1-1. Suarez singled and scored to lead off the 2nd. That's a tough play for Descalso at 3rd. Long throw, and it's right there.
Double D going to his right on the foul line as he makes that play. Long throw across the diamond. Goldie stretches out there to the outfield side, makes that look fairly easy.
You were talking about some baseball legends like Doyle Alexander, certainly Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Here's Mason Williams, who is the great nephew of Walt No Neck Williams.
Really?
Once a great Yankee.
White Sox.
White Sox for a long time. Yeah, Mason Williams, a very good athletic family, is a, well, some places say great nephew, other places say grandfather, but he's related somehow to Walt No Neck Williams. And his father, Derwin Williams, was a wide receiver for the New England Patriots back in the day. Nick Ahmed stops and fires. Couple of ground ball outs for Godley, 2 down.
Well, now Tucker Barnhart, he needs to hit a ball to Ketel Marte's backhand so he can show off all the infielders' ability to go to their right.
Catcher Barnhart struck out his first time up. We've seen some impressive infield throws. I'm not sure we've seen a more impressive outfield throw. The one that occurred last night for the Oakland A's. I don't know if you saw it. We'll have it for you coming up shortly. Ramon Laureano. This was the throw of throws.
Yeah, I just saw it for the first time between innings there.
Oh, you got Marte. You didn't get the backhand, though. And Godley works a 1, 2, 3, 4. More from Cincinnati coming up. It's 3-2 Diamondbacks. For baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. The Oakland A's, Ramon Laureano. Look at this throw. 321-foot throw off the fly ball by Upton. They double off EY Jr. at first. He had to run 76 feet in less than 5 seconds to get to that ball. Plant and throw, a 91-mile-an-hour throw that went 321 feet.
Wow.
As measured by StatCast.
That's pretty impressive.
And the other thing about that that's so impressive is that for the A's center fielder, Ramon Laureano, only his 5th major league game last night. And quite an impression. Nick Ahmed leads off the 5th.
Boy, how about the battle in Mel's? They've won 8 of their last 10. They're 3.5 behind Houston in that American League West. 21 games over 500. They would be in first place in every division in the National League.
They're really playing well. We saw them not too long ago. By the way, I hesitated to bring this up, but you're a big This Day in Baseball History guy. It was on this day in 08 that Mel got win number 304 as D-backs manager, passing Bob Brenly on the all-time list.
Well, he passed me way before that. Mel helped us win so many games when I was managing the team. I would give him credit for quite a few of them.
Diamondbacks got that 3-run home run from Daniel Descalso in the first inning and have not had a base runner since. Castillo has retired 10 straight. But behind on Ahmed, 3 balls and 1 strike. Chop to third, and Eugenio Suarez.
Fans, the day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
You know, I think it's a great thing for the A's to contend and have a good, young, exciting team for that fan base. And you mentioned this when we were there. They really support that Oakland ball club, and hopefully it builds some momentum toward getting that ballpark situation straightened out, which has dragged on for years and years now.
I mean, I felt the same way about Giants fans at Candlestick. They deserved AT&T Park. They deserved to have a real show place to go watch ball games, and I think Oakland is right there with them. They've proven that they can get by on a shoestring budget. They find a way to get the best out of the players that they have. Unfortunately, they don't usually stay long after they become good players. But Bob Melvin's done an outstanding job with that A's team this year.
Looking for a new ballpark. They have a site and a design in Tampa Bay, but a lot of people forget that the Trop was originally built for the Giants to move from San Francisco out to Florida.
Back in 1993, the Giants, I mean, it was a done deal. Signed, sealed, delivered. We were moving to South Florida, and Major League Baseball stepped in. There were many behind-the-scenes meetings that took place, and suddenly there was new ownership in San Francisco, and they decided to stay.
Yeah, you would have been looking for a place in St. Pete.
Yeah, I've told that story before too. We got these big cardboard boxes from the Tampa St. Pete Chamber of Commerce, where the churches were, where the schools were, where the malls were. You know, welcome to the area.
Yeah, so for the longest time they had this stadium there, and no team to play in it until the Rays were launched. They've been trying to get to the other side of the bridge now for a long time. 2-2 to Alex Avila. Now it's full. John Jay had a leadoff single. Peralta a 1-out walk. Descalso a 3-run homer, and that has been all the offense so far. That was all in the first 5 batters. Castillo has retired 11 straight since. Make it 12. That's his 6th strikeout. The pitcher, Zach Godley. This is another thing, Bob, that keeps popping up. The Diamondbacks, a couple of times on the last homestand, got 5 runs in the first against the Giants. 3 runs here in the first today. And then it's crickets for a long time offensively. And in the meantime, the other team chips away, and now it's only a 1-run lead. Reds have actually out-hit the Diamondbacks 3-2 in the ball game.
I mean, there's no blueprint for how to win ball games, but it sure makes it tough on your pitching staff and your bullpen when they're dealing with very few runs and a small margin for error.
7 strikeouts. Castillo has retired 13 straight, but the D-backs lead it by 1. You'll recall our buddy Mr. Redlegs was up here talking trash last night when he visited our booth about how he was going to win big today, lurking in the weeds. And then look at this finishing kick. And our boy, Mr. Redlegs, some touching there at the wire, and watch the finish. He finishes in style. Mr. Redlegs.
Mr. Redlegs taunting. That's not like him.
Mrs. Red just power walking, I guess. And whatever that thing is, coming in last. I think that's Gapper.
That's the Midwestern version of Youpie.
Yeah, they need to rethink that. But how about our boy who was up here? He backed it up.
Called a shot, yeah.
Preston Tucker will start the bottom of the fifth against Zach Godley. D-backs have the shift on. For a while, I thought he was going to get his doors blown off there.
I think he was just trying to be polite to Rosie Red. You know, he was kind of walking with her initially, and then he realized, hey, there's a race to be won here.
Well, as long as he didn't get a big head.
Oh.
Punch foul down the line, 0-2. Well, Zach Godley, pretty good so far. 2 runs, 3 hits. He's not walked a batter. He's got 4 strikeouts and a 3-2 lead.
And one of the runs should not have scored. Zach made an error over there at first base, covering on the back end of a double play ball, and just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, we forgot to mention they did finally change that scoring decision, which had been E6. They have changed it now on that play. The ball that Tucker hit in the second inning, now E1. So take the error away from Ahmed and give it to Zach Godley. Here's the 1-2. Got him. 5 strikeouts for Zach. He set down 5 in a row. Have you seen what's going on in Reno these days?
Yeah.
Ildemaro Vargas has a 35-game hitting streak. That is the longest in Reno Aces history. Now, we've seen Vargas both in spring training and here and there in the big leagues. But Ildemaro Vargas has put together a 35-game hitting streak, the longest in the Pacific Coast League since Joey Cora hit in 37 straight back in 1989. 35 in a row. That's impressive at any level.
Any level. I don't care where you're playing. I don't care if you're playing Little League. If you hit 35 in a row, that's very impressive.
So congratulations to Ildemaro Vargas. This was number 35 last night in a suspended game against Vegas. They had a dust storm. Slowly hit to shortstop off the bat of Castillo. Ahmed's there, 2 down. So they had the game. Vargas got the hit, 35, and then this happened.
Look out.
This is courtesy of the Las Vegas 51s, and we know what everybody back home has been going through with the monsoons all week. A lot of storms out west. Boy, the monsoons at home have been nuts. Every time I call Cindy, the power's out.
Yeah.
Got trees all over the place. Rain, wind, dust. Billy Hamilton, corners come in, and there's a strike 0-1. Finally got a reprieve from the monsoons last night. Been a long week. Jon Snow, the dog, does not like the thunder and the lightning.
No,
he's not a fan. You gotta kind of talk him through it. He'll be all right. A little more. Here's a treat. And we had some rain yesterday, a 40-minute delay. Got a beautiful day here today in downtown Cincinnati. Blue skies overhead.
Yeah, even last night turned out to be a beautiful evening here in Cincinnati after that initial rain delay to start the game.
Yeah, nice and cool. We haven't been sweltering as it sometimes gets here in the summer. Not too bad. Of course, we go to Texas next, and who knows?
Yeah.
Games against the Rangers Monday and Tuesday. Have both of them for you on Fox Sports Arizona. Zach Greinke goes tomorrow against Bartolo Colon. And then Tuesday, Corbett and Gallardo. I believe it's Globe Life Park now in Arlington, Texas. They're building the Rangers a brand new ballpark.
The new ballpark reportedly will have a retractable roof, which is just a little bit too late for us on this trip.
And sadly. Billy Hamilton has a base hit to center. So now we'll deal with Billy Hamilton on the bases as Peraza comes up. Peraza tripled and scored in the third. Hamilton stole 2 bases in the ball game last night. He's now at 29 on the year. Second in the majors behind only Trey Turner of Washington. And we'll see how Zach Godley deals with this. Trying to control the Reds' running game. Late time granted by Greg Gibson behind the plate.
Well, if you weren't with us last night, we watched Billy Hamilton and we talked about his lead down there at first base. He doesn't take an enormous lead, but he's constantly moving, edging towards second base. And if you don't make him stop, he'll just keep on going. That time Zach held the ball long enough that Hamilton was actually going back to the bag at first.
Now, the numbers say that Zach Godley has only thrown over to first base once all season, one time.
Yeah, there was a couple games there where Zach made some throwing miscues and it started to become somewhat of an issue, but we haven't really heard much about it and teams haven't challenged him, so all's well that ends well.
Hamilton not going. Boy, that one got Alex Avila behind the plate. That's the second time today that's happened to Alex. Godley will control runners by holding the ball, by stepping off, changing his timing and his rhythm, his patterns. But he does not throw to the bases.
Professional courtesy behind the plate there as Greg Gibson takes his sweet time sweeping off home plate and walking back around behind Alex, making sure he's good to go.
1-1 on the shortstop, Jose Peraza. Hamilton still holding it first. This is chopped in the hole. Ahmed, tough throw, and he's got it. Nick Ahmed, one more time. He makes it look so easy. The best defensive shortstop in baseball, according to some of the metrics. Make sure it stays 3-2 D-backs. Sunday, 1 week from today, a brand new episode, A Cup of Coffee with our special guest, Steven Souza Jr. Don't miss Cup of Coffee, presented by First Watch Restaurants, the Daytime Cafe, coming up next Sunday after the D-backs and the Padres, right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Shot those just the other day. Producer Josh Kellman and his crew working feverishly on that broadcast. Got a Steven Souza Jr. cup of coffee and a Nick Ahmed cup of coffee coming up over the next few weeks. John Jay singled and scored in the first. He struck out his last time up. Luis Castillo gave up the Descalso 3-run homer and has retired every batter he's faced since then, 13 in a row. And that is foul in front of Dave McKay at first.
Yeah, it looked like it could possibly be a short day for Castillo after that first inning. Gave up the leadoff hit to John Jay, walked David Peralta, gave up the 3-run bomb. It looked like the Diamondbacks were going to steamroll Castillo, but boy, has he settled in.
Said it. Suarez, it's under the glove and into left. Jays aboard to start the 6th. Here comes Goldie.
A little tapper to the left side there. Suarez was way off the line. Looked like he got to the spot, just didn't make the play that time. That's a good veteran move right there. If you leave your feet, they're never going to call it an error.
They call it a base hit. Goldie has popped up, struck out 0 for 2. Castillo still throwing that hard fastball, 96-97. Goldie has 3 hits in this series. He's doubled twice. He's hit safely in 5 straight games and 7 of his last 8. This is hit in the air. Right field. Williams at the track. He's at the wall, and there it goes. Diamondbacks take a 5-2 lead. Goldie hits his 25th.
Wasn't sure he got enough of that when he hit it so high in the air to right field, but Williams just kept drifting and drifting back onto the track, then to the wall. Couldn't do anything but watch it sail up into the seats. An opposite field home run for Paul Goldschmidt. Way up in the air. He's looking straight up when that ball comes off the bat.
Looked like Williams might have a shot at it, but it's about 3 rows back. We talked about this the other night. This is a small ballpark. A little too small for that jumbo jack. Free jumbo jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with the purchase of a large drink. Here's Peralta, who has walked and grounded out. Right at Peraza, the shortstop. 1 out. Hey, that's 5 runs.
Yeah, road tacos, Cincinnati tacos. We like it.
Do Cincinnati tacos have chili all over them?
Of course they do. Everything has chili on it here.
And spaghetti and cheese and the whole thing.
5-way.
AJ 0 for 2. So Goldie hits his 25th this year. He's now at 201 for the career. Joining Mike Trout and Justin Upton, former Diamondback, 200 homers and 100 steals over the last 7 years. Speaking of tacos, we got a letter here, BB, that we need to read.
Okay.
From Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Air Force retired, Bob Marshak. He wrote us a letter. He's writing us from Tempe. 0-2 on AJ. He says, my mother-in-law, Ruth Johnson, will be 102 in October. Watches every D-backs game. Hi, Ruth. She knows the players, the announcers, everything. And when the D-backs scored their 5th run Ruth Johnson shouts tacos before Bob can raise his sign. AJ, a little tapper. Castillo's on it, and they get him. So when Bob has to go out and get D-backs tacos for Ruth, she always says, don't forget the hot sauce. So a happy early 102nd birthday, Ruth, and thanks for enjoying your tacos and watching D-backs baseball. And thank you to Bob Marshott, Lieutenant Colonel, Air Force retired, for your letter. Thanks, Bob and Ruth.
And thank you for your service.
Watching the games in Tempe. So I wonder if she probably beat us to the punch that time, Ruth.
Pretty good chance, and I know she beats us at home because I have to rely on my staff to hand me the taco sign, and that always takes a little while.
Yeah, they're not very swift. Descalso's the one that got the scoring started. 2 on and 2 out in the first. Deep to center over the head of Billy Hamilton.
The second baseman report.
10th of the year for Daniel.
That might have been one of those exhale moments too for the Diamondbacks. They've really struggled to put hits and walks together to build innings, as Torrey likes to say, link at bats, and put a 3 spot on the board in that first inning after the way they've struggled in the first 2 games. I think everybody relaxed a little bit.
Down the line in right, Descalso heads for second. Williams plays it off the bullpen fence out there. A 2-out double for Daniel Descalso, who's 2 for 3.
The second baseman.
Boy, he really goes down and digs that one out. Ball had a lot of sink on it down below the knees. Daniel somehow got the bat on plane with that ball and ripped it down into that right field corner.
Here comes Jim Riggleman. Castillo had retired 13 straight going into this inning. But a single and a home run made it 5-2. Descalso a 2-out double, and that will be it. Diamondbacks have a 5-2 lead at Cincinnati. Back after this. Descalso a 3-run homer, Goldschmidt a 2-run shot, 5-2 D-backs. And it's time to take a look at Valley Toyota dealers. Let's go places. We're off to Texas after this one. 2 against the Rangers tomorrow and Tuesday. A travel day Wednesday, then 4 games at Petco Park. We're back in San Diego for 4 against the Padres. Tomorrow night, Zach Greinke versus Bartolo Colon. D-backs live pregame show at 4:30 in the afternoon. New pitcher for Cincinnati, the right-hander Michael Lorenzen, who missed most of the first 2 months of this year with a right shoulder strain. His numbers are pretty good since he's come back in the ERA under 3. And he faces Ketel Marte with Daniel Descalso at second and 2 outs. Marte 0 for 2 today. 0 for 9 in the series. Drop to first for Votto. Lorenzen's over there. And a strand the 2-out double, but Goldie's 25th makes it 5-2 Diamondbacks. Goldie's 25th makes it 5-2 Diamondbacks as we start the bottom of the 6th in Cincinnati. MLB at Bat, your #1 D-backs app, fans. You can customize your experience, catch every moment this year. Get D-backs home screen icons, features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, the whole thing. Download MLB at Bat today. Joey Votto leads off the Reds 6th. Zach Godley in pretty good shape here. Now with a 3-run lead once again. Godley 77 pitches. He's given up just 2 runs on 4 hits. He's struck out 5. He's not walked a batter. Scooter Gennett on deck. And Eugenio Suarez follows. One thing that Zach Godley has really excelled at lately is keeping it in the ballpark. Godley has not given up a home run in his last 8 games. Last home run he surrendered June 26th at Marlins Park. Starlin Castro got it in Miami. And walks Votto to open up the inning. First base on balls for Godley. Here's Scooter Gennett.
The Diamondbacks had a couple leads in the ball game last night that they let get away. Important to have a shutdown inning here after the offense gave him a couple more runs there in the top half of the 6th.
Well, another walk for Votto. That's hardly breaking news. Zach Godley at 80 pitches, 50 strikes. Gennett has flat out struck out 0 for 2. Chopper slowly hit to first. Goldie backhands. Ahmed gets 1, and Marte and Godley both over there to cover the bag. Gennett is safe at first.
Could be possibly an area of workout tomorrow in Texas, turning that 3-6-1 double play. This time it was almost a 3-6-4 as Marte got there before Godley. Goldie does his job. Make sure you get that lead run.
The second time today the D-backs have tried to turn that double play, and they're 0 for 2. So a chance for Suarez here. 1 out, 1 on.
You know, with the new Chase Utley rule down there at second base, I think they ought to take a look at Joey Votto's slide on that double play.
Really? Here's a look. Let's
watch
see.
Votto going into second.
Yeah, you're right. That's a devastating roll block.
Oh, it's beautiful. He knew he had no chance to get there and disrupt the play, so just get out of the way.
Suarez bangs it into center. 2-1 for the Reds. 1 out.
The D-backs will take on the Seattle Mariners at Chase Field August 24th through the 26th. Stick around after the game on Friday, August 24th for a free post-game fireworks concert, a free post-game concert featuring Mercy Me and a fireworks show presented by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. For tickets, visit dbacks.com. Just to make it clear, there is a post-game concert and fireworks on the 24th.
Get your tickets right now. Mariners in town. Gene Segura, Mitch Haniger. Mason Williams has singled and grounded out. Zach has rolled a lot of ground balls lately. He could use one right here.
There's that straight changeup.
I have him with 8 ground ball outs so far through 5 1/3. And there it is. Marte, Ahmed, hey, roll it. And Godley gets the big double play ball. It stays 5-2 D-backs. In Cincinnati, our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool plays for the game. Descalso's 10th, a 3-run shot in the first. Goldie's 25th, a 2-run home run in the 6th. And that's been all the scoring for the Diamondbacks, who lead it 5-2 as we start the 7th inning, trying to salvage the series finale in Cincinnati before it's off to Texas for 2 against the Rangers. Nick Ahmed will lead it off against right-hander Michael Lorenz, and Ahmed so far 0 for 2. And one's fouled away. Bob, we got a lovely card here from Lynn Peck, who wrote us from Chandler. And she says, Bob, as a fellow Ohioan, I grew up in Salina and Fairfield. Is that anywhere near you or here?
It's closer to here, I believe. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where Salina is, but Fairfield is in the vicinity here.
Yeah, Lynn Peck, a big Diamondback fan. She's been in Arizona ever since they put up Chase Field. So she sent us a nice card. Said used to have a small batting cage growing up in Ohio, and Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench would actually come bat with them and sign autographs for the kids back in the day from the Big Red Machine. And the statues honoring some of the Reds greats. There's Johnny Bench. There's a fly ball to center for Hamilton. Gets himself all turned around, but gets back there and bumps into the 404 notch. That one carried on him.
Well, that tells you the kind of athlete that Billy Hamilton is. He got turned around twice chasing that ball back to the warning track in center field. He's having a laugh about it now, but the ball must have been knuckling as it came off the bat of Nick Ahmed. Ends up backpedaling onto the warning track and up against the wall at the 404 mark.
Well, Billy Hamilton, with his blazing speed, he was a tremendous wide receiver and punt return man as a high school football player in Mississippi. Imagine him returning punts. That must have been really fun to watch. Here's Alex Avila. He was going to play college football at Mississippi State in Starkville. And then the Reds drafted him with a second-round pick out of high school back in '08. So here he is. He was a great basketball player in high school. Taylorsville, Mississippi, had some 50-point games. What didn't that one hit?
Well, it got a big chunk of Greg Gibson, and he kind of playfully punched Tucker Barnhart for not blocking it. Now he says it's all right. Now, you see that all the time. If you watch closely, when a catcher blocks the ball in the dirt, it's not uncommon for the home plate umpire to lean over and tap him on the shoulder. Nice going. Nice going. Keep that ball away from me.
That doesn't always work out that way. There's a strike just off the plate. 1-2.
Tell you, Greg Gibson, I believe I was his first ejection, and he was my first ejection.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And we got into it several times over the years, but he has really developed, in my eyes, as one of the best in the game. He does a lot of things really well, especially behind the plate.
Like what?
I mean, this is a simple thing, but we talk all the time about that meat hand for the catcher. We see umpires get drilled with foul balls on the hand all the time. Watch where his right hand goes as he gets ready to call the pitch. He's just assuming the pose back there right now, waiting for everybody to get set. But as that pitch is delivered, that right hand will slide around behind his leg. Right there. I mean, it's a simple little thing, but it keeps umpires from getting hurt so often.
Well,
keeps catchers from getting hurt so often.
And that's the hand he uses to eject managers.
That's right.
Got to keep that safe. Godley will hit. He's on deck.
He really gets into a low position. I mean, his mask is almost right next to the catcher's as he gets into position back there to call pitches.
So now we'll see if Godley can get a bunt down, move Avila along perhaps. Zach so far has flat out struck out 0 for 2. Batting for himself with 1 out in the 7th inning.
And Zach still has the lead amongst the starting pitchers for the Diamondbacks with his 6 sack bunts this year. Clay Buchholz and Patrick Corbin both have 4.
Squaring up. Here comes Votto from first. That one's fouled away.
Not sure if the Diamondbacks do it, but several of the teams I played on, the starting pitchers would have a little pool at the beginning of the season. They'd all throw $100 or a couple $100 or whatever it was, and at the end of the season, whoever had the most sack bunts won the pool.
Suarez halfway in from third. Godley misses, and now he's down 0-2. Do you ever remember who won those pools?
No.
Money came and went pretty fast.
Yeah, it went fast.
Squaring up with 2 strikes, and Godley gets the bunt down. Lorenzen's got 1 play, and Avila's in at second. One 4 on the sacrifice. A chance now for John Jay.
I know the Vida Blue probably won a few of those pools back in the day. Although Vida was such a good hitter, you hated to let him bunt. You wanted him to swing away. Nice job here by Zach. deadens that ball off the end of the bat. Stumbled a little bit out of the batter's box, but perfectly executed, moving Avila into scoring position.
Jim Riggleman out to the mound. He's going to take the baseball from Lorenzen here. We're in Cincinnati. It's 5-2 Diamondbacks. Back in a moment. That part of Kentucky, the river?
That's what I'm told. The river is actually part of Kentucky. We've talked about that Adam Dunn home run ball that rolled into the river. He knocked it clean out of the state.
Rolling on the river here. Hey, tonight the premier Mexican soccer team, Xolos de Tijuana, returns to Fox Sports Arizona Plus. Live soccer action tonight, 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona Plus. For your Plus channel listings, visit foxsportsarizona.com. John Jay against the new pitcher for the Reds, the left-hander Wandy Peralta. Recalled from AAA Louisville at the end of July. He's been up and down this year. Alex Avila down there at second, 2 outs. Jay has singled twice, scored twice. He's 2 for 3. Toy Lavello often says when John Jay gets on base, we win. And Jay singled in the first, scored on Descalso's homer, singled in the 6th, and scored on the Goldie home run. Down here, 0-2.
You know, the river being part of Kentucky is just a trade-off because the Cincinnati airport is actually in Kentucky. So we gave them the river, we get the airport.
I'm down. It's not too bad a drive out there. 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. No traffic. Not like Denver where they built the airport in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, if we had our way, the airport would be right next to the ballpark.
Yes, we've got to get everything condensed. Just over across the river, you can see some of the old historic homes. It's a great walk if you go over the bridge here, the Rain Man Bridge, which is from the movie that you were in, sort of. And you've got Covington, Kentucky on the other side. They got some great old historic homes over there. U.S. Grant lived right across the river in one of those homes for a while. Scooter Jeanette at second. And they strand Avila. We stretch in Cincinnati. It's 5-2 D-backs.
You do have the Louis Vuitton sandals on, which means I'm guessing you still do the manicure, pedicure thing?
Yeah, actually just got one the other day.
Outstanding.
So
well,
we don't have to zoom in on my feet, but I did just get them taken care of.
well, how do you turn your phone off long enough to do that?
We had a day where we didn't have BP and we got to come in a little later, and so got up, breakfast, came back home, got in the pool for a little bit, and then was like, you know what? I got some time. I hate clipping my toenails. I hate it. So yeah, I went to my spot and got taken care of. I'm okay admitting that now, you know what I mean? I'm comfortable, I enjoy it. If you haven't done it yet, you should definitely get it done.
I can't even reach my toenails anymore, so I'm on that.
There's just something about getting over the fact of like maybe being a little ticklish or a little embarrassed, but just relaxing and letting someone else rub your feet.
Trust, though, too. Trust, right?
Trust is big.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to communicate. Because I have sensitive feet and ticklish feet, so I've told them like, hey, please be like really firm. If you don't, like, I might kick you because I'm ticklish.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I'm uncomfortable.
Me too. You know I'm uncomfortable.
Well, after the D-back game here in just a few minutes from now, actually, the season debut of Local 9 as Todd sits down with Archie, Yoshi Hirano, Mike Butcher to find out their favorite things to do, places to go away from the ballpark. It's the D-backs Local 9 presented by CenturyLink right after our ball game here today. Coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. I know that's your big bugaboo, the feet.
That's why they invented socks and shoes, so you didn't have to see people's feet.
Can sense a Bob Melvin text coming in right now.
Please. Oh, they're playing a day game. He's busy right now.
Well, Zach Godley out there to start the bottom of the 7th inning with a 5-2 lead. Each team with 5 hits. Tucker Barnhart 0 for 2 will lead it off for the Reds. D-backs have the shift on the first base side for Barnhart. Godley got out of a little mini jam there in the 6th with a double play ball. Barnhart's at it again. He hits it out there for AJ, who's got it on the warning track in front of John Jay. How about Zach Godley today? What are your thoughts?
I think he's been really good. I mean, if you had to classify it, I'd say he was effectively wild early on, but really found his rhythm through the middle part of this ball game, rolling up ground ball after ground ball. The curveball's been really good. We've seen some straight changeups, which is a new twist for Zach, as much as he's used it today.
Godley is in the last 2 starts has been landing that curveball for strikes, as you mentioned. He's rolling along today. Another start with Alex Avila. Fastball command has been there. Seven scoreless against the Rangers 2 starts ago. 2 runs in 7 1/3 against the Phillies at Chase Field last Monday. And trying to complete 7 here today. Preston Tucker is 0 for 2. Shift is still on. Zach Godley only 1 loss in his last 11 starts. Behind on Tucker, 3-1. Pitcher spot is up next. Dilson Herrera has come out into the on-deck circle. Back bullpen. Brad Ziegler. Brad threw 11 pitches in the ball game last night. Worked the 6th inning after Robbie Ray was out through 5. 3-2 to Preston Tucker. He'll keep going. That's going to reach the seats and out of play. Once again, we've got back-to-back Zachs. Godley today, Greinke tomorrow. That's going to be fun in Texas. Zach Greinke and Bartolo Colon. First of a quick 2-game stop in Dallas to play the Rangers. Rangers have been scoring like 12 runs a game for the last 2 weeks.
Slugging homers, just going crazy offensively.
Corbett and Giovanni Gallardo on Tuesday. Godley wins the battle, and he gets his 6th strikeout.
Well, it took a while, but he got the desired result there.
Now batting for the Reds, number 15.
So here's the pitch by pitch.
Missed off the plate inside with a fastball. Comes right back with a curve. That's a key pitch in the sequence right there. The ability to throw something other than a fastball when you're behind in the count. And then Tucker goes to fouling pitches off one after another after another. Zach Godley comes back and punches him out with a fastball up and away. Went away from the curveball that time in the 2-strike count. Our nationwide vision center's eye on the game.
Dilson Herrera started last night in left field. He was 0 for 2 with a walk. A 154 hitter. This one down the line and foul. It's 0-2. Herrera only 26 at bats in 20 games with Cincinnati this year. He's played primarily second base in his career. They're giving him some looks in the outfield where he's never played before. Herrera got called up to the majors last month for the first time in about 3 years. Reds bullpen will stay busy as they hit for the pitcher here. That's Mayer, the right-hander, and Herrera's got a knock. 2-out single. That'll bring up Billy Hamilton.
That'll bring Torey Lovullo out of that third base dugout. Looks like he wants to make a change here.
He's got Brad Ziegler warming up. We'll take a break from Great American Ballpark. Zach Godley outstanding today through 6 2/3. He'll leave with a 5-2 lead. Responsible for the runner Herrera at first, 2 outs. And Brad Ziegler comes on to face Billy Hamilton. Zach only 1 earned run on 6 hits and 6 2/3. And Ziegler is on from the pen.
And only 1 walk again today for Zach Godley, and that came to Joey Votto, which is not unusual. Brad Ziegler takes over out there on the mound. Outstanding numbers for Brad this season. He, as we know, a ground ball machine.
Well, Descalso will come in on the grass a step or 2 at third. Always watching out for the Hamilton bunt. He has grounded out and singled today, 1 for 2. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes ball 1. Hamilton's got a 6-game hit streak going. reliable Brad Ziegler. Good to have him back in the fold. Torey Lovullo was taking full advantage of Ziegler's acquisition for the Marlins at the trade deadline. One and two. Brad Ziegler, a member of the Diamondbacks' 20th anniversary team. Trying to win the 7th inning. And Billy Hamilton waves at one. Ziegler comes in and ends it with a strikeout and sends us to the 8th in Cincinnati. It's 5-2 D-backs.
Participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink. D-backs with 2 homers in the ball game. Goldie with a 2-run blast in the 6th. Daniel Descalso with a 3-run homer in the 1st.
And Goldie will lead off the 8th inning against the new pitcher Kauri Maya. We're joined in the booth by Rosie. How you doing? Oh, don't flirt. Come on now. You notice now I understand that you and Mr. Redlegs are not married. Is that true? Yeah, what is the Beyonce song? You got to put a ring on,
If you like
right?
it, then you should have put a ring on.
How about
that?
Well, see? What was the deal with the race walking today? Mr. Redlegs, right by everybody. Oh, it's hot out there.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want to sweat. That's unbecoming. Chatty gal.
Yes, she is.
Here's Goldie. Yeah, now Rosie, let's take a look at, if you could, break down what happened here. This is, you're like, that's like at the mall when you go for exercise.
Power walking through the mall.
As long as you get your steps in, that's what's really important. All right, I'm sorry, our director Brian Henry says wrap it up. It's out of my hands. You may want to go down there. Oh, see, that's nice.
Oh, very nice.
That's good stuff. Goldie smashes one down the line. That's a fair ball in the corner. He had a double in there in the 8th inning last night. He's got another one here today. That's his 25th. So Goldie today gets home run number 25 and double number 25.
Cement mixer slider that just stayed on that inside part of the plate for Goldie. He knows what to do with mistake breaking balls. He rips it down into that left field corner. An easy leadoff double here in the 8th.
Chance for David Peralta. David walked and scored in the 1st. He's 0 for 2. Kauri Maya, the right-hander, just recalled from AAA Louisville at the end of July. He's been a starter in the minor leagues all year. And most of his minor league career, but all his big league appearances have been in relief.
May has a little bit of a physical resemblance to former Reds star pitcher Jose Rijo.
Jose, blame it on Rijo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a good call. David not getting a whole lot to hit here. His home run last night, still his only base hit in the series. 3-1 with Pollock on deck. D-backs lead at 5-2, each team with 6 hits. You see where that pitch was right there. That fastball, middle in. Peralta has been crushing balls in there this year. Middle in and down and in. He has absolutely hammered opposing pitching.
Yeah, even off the plate, down and in on occasion. Pitches that are out of the strike zone, but he's so quick he can get to that pitch and keep it fair.
One more of those would do nicely. Might hit it into Kentucky. Up and in, right under the hands, is really the only place pitchers have had any luck getting Peralta out this year. Zoom ball. It's a double and a walk to start the 8th. Second base on balls today for David. And now a chance for AJ. Danny Darwin, the pitching coach, making his way out to the mound.
Your partner had another interesting this day in baseball history. We were talking about the intentional walk to Jose Peraza last night to get to Joey Votto and how unusual that was. Well, how unusual is this? On this day in 2001, Bobby Cox, the manager of the Atlanta Braves, ordered Greg Maddux to issue an intentional walk to Steve Finley of the Diamondbacks. That was his first walk in 72 1/3 innings. And he went on to walk another guy in the same inning intentionally, but got out of the inning without any further damage. Maddux did not like to walk guys intentionally.
Well, Bob, while we have a moment, we want to wish all the best to our colleague, our producer, the Big Sweat, Brian Henry. Brian really works hard preparing for every series. He's produced all the games in this series. That's a picture that I took on the flight here as Brian was getting his prep work in. And one of the rules of travel, never fall asleep on the plane or the bus. They will find you.
They definitely will find you.
He's growing up into a handsome young man. And Brian is off to Detroit. So this is his final game with us on Fox Sports Arizona. Now, he played in the coach's basketball game the other day here.
Yeah.
And that's how he got the nickname the Big Sweat, not because he knows Denny Reyes at all. So we want to thank Brian, wish him all the best.
Absolutely. I still think it's the Big Sweet is what they were saying, not the sweat.
Oh, yeah,
sweet.
I think you're right. Yeah, he's a very sweet guy.
Yeah.
Brad the Big Dog Weimer will meet us in Texas. We're still saddled with Brian Moss, but we're working on that.
Yeah.
It's not easy to overcome. Guy invents a camera, gets a big head. Let's go. 1-1. Punch foul. Well, the Dodgers and Rockies are underway at Coors Field in Colorado. Leads LA 1-0, bottom one. Starting to wonder which team we really need to worry about, the Dodgers or the Rockies. Ryan McMahon hit a walk-off homer last night. So Colorado is only a game and a half out of the lead in the NL West. Giants are 6 back. They're home again today against Pittsburgh. Yes, he went. Here comes Descalso, who has homered and doubled.
AJ having a rough day at the plate. Just doesn't look like he's picking the pitches up quickly enough. He's chased a couple of pitches in the dirt well off the plate, low and away. Tapped back to the mound once. He did hit a ball hard to center field that chased Billy Hamilton back to the track, but it just appears he's not seeing the ball real well.
Yeah, 0 for 4, a couple of punch outs. That'll snap his 4-game hit streak. Two on and 1 out for Descalso. 3-run homer in the first, a double in the 6th. Goldie at second, Peralta at first. Uri Maya trying to strand a couple of base runners. His 4th appearance since he was brought up for the minors on July 27th. Foul tip, Barnhart hangs on. It's 1-2. Fly ball left field. Tucker backing up on the warning track. He's got it. Nobody tags up. Everybody holds. 2 outs. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. We're off to Texas after this one. 2 games in Arlington against the Rangers. Both games on Fox Sports Arizona. Zach Greinke tomorrow against Bartolo Colon. That's a 5:05 first pitch time back home in Arizona. Diamondback Live pregame show at 4:30. And then on Tuesday, Patrick Corbin against Giovanni Gallardo. We're going to stay in Dallas after that one and fly out to San Diego on Wednesday. Open up a 4-game set at Petco Park Thursday against the Padres. Here's Ketel Marte, 0 for 3.
And the Dodgers will host the Giants starting tomorrow. That's always a big series, regardless of where the 2 teams are in the standings.
Let them beat up on each other. That'll work. D-backs have been fortunate that the Dodgers have lost a couple of games along the way here while they've struggled to beat the Reds. So no ground lost in the NL West race. They had a chance to win a couple and put some cushion between themselves and LA, but at least they're still tied. Bounce to first. Votto can't backhand it. Tries to get the force at second. And they've got Peralta. A long underhand toss. Jordan Baker says out.
Come on, David. You got to slide. Got to slide right there. Those are kind of little mistakes that have really bothered Torrey recently. This is a ball club that doesn't make mistakes. They don't do silly things that cost them outs.
Well, they just did.
Yep.
It stays 5-2 in Cincinnati. to Texas to take on the Rangers tomorrow. They're in the Bronx, and Giancarlo Stanton gone. Yankees all over the Rangers, 7-2 bottom 7. In the meantime, Chris Sale is mowing down the Orioles. Got a whole bunch of strikeouts.
Yeah, Chris Sale back off the disabled list for the Red Sox. They punched out 12 Orioles in 5 innings of work.
Here in Cincinnati, Jose Peraza, the shortstop, leads off the 8th against the new D-backs pitcher. It's Yoshi Hirano. Eduardo Escobar checks into the game at 3rd, replacing Daniel Descalso. Peraza tripled and scored in the 3rd. 1 for 3, and this one is out of play. Peraza's had a good summer, had a very good June and July. He's now hit safely in 6 straight games, 9 of his last 10 with his triple back in the 3rd. Not a bad leadoff guy, does not strike out very often, makes a lot of contact up there. Good base runner, good base stealer. Fastball sails on Yoshi. It's 2-2. Diamondbacks have not been swept by the Reds since 2012 in Phoenix. Last time they were swept here in Cincinnati, 2007. They lead it 5-2 in the 8th. Goldie can't get it. It's under the glove and into right. Peraza's 2 for 4.
There's a fastball up and out over the plate. Peraza is one of those guys, foul line to foul line. Wherever you pitch the ball, he's going to try to hit it hard. That time through the hole on the right side of the infield for a leadoff single.
Well, no need to make things too interesting here. You've got the big boys coming up. Votto, Jeanette, Suarez. Joey Votto was struck out. He drove in a run with a fly ball, walked his last time up. Fastball's a strike, 0-1. Votto 36 home runs last year. The 2nd highest home run total of his career and the most since 2010. But this year, only 9 homers and none since the All-Star break.
I think in some respects, Joey Votto is a little bit like Tony Gwynn. They always said that Tony Gwynn, if he chose to, could have been a 30 home run a year guy, but the batting average probably would have suffered for it. I think Votto was probably in that same boat. If he wanted to get down on the knob of the bat and try to pull some balls into right field, he'd probably get up in the mid-30s, maybe 40 home runs in a season. But his on-base percentage would probably suffer. Probably end up swinging at some pitches that normally he wouldn't swing at. And Joey Votto's content to be the player that he is.
Yeah, he's got this wee Willie Keeler batting stance, choking up way on the bat handle right there. Guy with that kind of power. All crouched down. Ahmed is there. Peraza's back safely.
A 4-pitch at bat that time for Joey Votto. 3 fastballs and a splitter. Yoshi tends to jump ahead of hitters. It looks like he's jumping at you with that first pitch fastball. Votto wasn't quite ready for it. He missed badly with that second fastball. That's the splitter in off the plate. And then a fastball with an inside-out swing results in a line drive right at Nick Ahmed. Positioned perfectly. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Here's Scooter Gennett, 0 for 3. Remember the game that Gennett had in this ballpark last year. June 6th against the Cardinals. He was 5 for 5 with 4 homers and 10 RBIs. The only player in Major League history with 5 hits, 4 homers, and 10 runs batted in the same game. And he's having another good year this year. An all-star for the first time in his career. Fastball fouled away. It's 1-2. Eugenio Suarez on deck. Now Escobar will move over to the first base side of second. Ahmed slides back into a shortstop spot. Shift is on against Gennett.
The Gennett power seemingly came out of nowhere. He was not a home run hitter in the minor leagues. He only had 28 minor league home runs in 487 games.
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? I mean, he was waived by Milwaukee at the end of spring training last year. They just, here, take him. And he came here, hit 27 homers, and knocked in 97 runs.
Late bloomer.
Here's a look at the Diamondbacks defense against it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Potential double play ball. Marte shovel toss. Ahmed turns it, and they roll another one. He ended the 6th with a double play. The same thing here in the 8th. Yoshi Hirano sends us to the 9th inning. It's 5-2 Diamondbacks. Oh boy. Gila River Hotels and Casinos game summary. D-backs got a 3-run homer from Daniel Descalso in the first, a 2-run shot by Goldie in the 6th. Zach Godley made it stick, and now here we are in the 9th inning trying to salvage the finale before it's off to Texas. Nick Ahmed will lead it off for the D-backs. Little punk rock girl on the organ here at Great American Ballpark.
Not familiar with that one.
Really?
Who's Punk Rock Girl? What's that?
Punk Rock Girl? Is that Dead Milkman, I want to say? No?
It's out of my wheelhouse.
Wow. Nice pull by me.
Yeah.
Okay, Uri Maya back out there for the Reds. Now I got to check. It's one of those things. Nick has flied out, lined out, grounded out. Now he's got a base hit. That one rolls to the wall in left field. And Ahmed's in at second with his 25th double.
Maya gets beat with another slider up in the zone, 79 miles an hour, and Nick, much like Goldie did in his at bat in the last inning, picks on that slider in the zone and rips it down into the left field corner for a leadoff double.
Alex Avila 0 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, Dead Milkmen out of Philly in 1983.
Okay.
Punk Rock Girl was their big hit. Very hip organist here at the ballpark.
Yeah. No Bobby Freeman, but
well,
he tries hard.
Who is? Lights are on here at the ballpark. We saw the grounds crew folks huddled up with the umpires looking at an iPad, which is never good. We have blue skies overhead right now, but one of those pop-up deals might be popping up. A 40-minute rain delay to start the ball game here last night, then clear skies. Called strike 3. Second strikeout for Mayo, 1 down. And here's Eduardo Escobar, his first at bat today. Checked into the ball game at third for Daniel Descalso. Escobar, 278. 16 home runs, his first as a D-back in the ball game last night. A 2-run shot in the 4th off the Dark Knight, Ben Harvey. Escobar has hit safely in 10 of his 12 games with the Diamondbacks since the trade from Minnesota.
He officially became one of the guys last night with that 2-run bomb to right field. His first homer as a member of the Diamondbacks.
Good to see. Leads the majors in doubles with 42. Last year with the Twins, hit 21 home runs, knocked in 73 runs. So he's about on that same pace this year. 7 seasons in Minnesota, started out with the White Sox. And he smashes another one deep to right field, and that ball is gone. Eduardo Escobar, his second home run in as many days as a Diamondback in Cincinnati. And it's 7-2.
Well, we've talked throughout this series about the sound of the ball coming off the bat. Just hasn't been what we're used to hearing. That one was a little more familiar.
Yeah.
Good, clean, solid contact that time by Escobar. A line drive home run into the front row out there in right field.
And a souvenir D-backs' third home run today.
Boy, and once again, it comes on that Maya slider that just stays in the zone a little bit too long. He's really been hurt with that breaking ball in this game already.
John Jay looks at ball one. Jay has singled twice, scored twice today, 2 for 4. Eduardo Escobar, a free jumbo jack for you, a Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. Descalso in the first, Goldie in the 6th, and now Escobar in the 9th. Now the youngster wearing the Reds t-shirt was not as happy about this as we are, despite the fact he got the baseball. Oh no, Dad's making him throw it back.
Why?
Nice form.
Yeah, very nice. I'm sure Dad will get you another one.
Yeah, but it won't be.
Yeah. Eduardo Escobar's home run ball.
Yeah, that's. Huh. I guess at that age you do what you're told.
Apparently so.
Hey, strikes out. Well, we've talked about this ballpark and what a home run haven it can be. Most home runs in the majors given up this year. Cincinnati out front. And we're going to Texas next. How about that? Baltimore's another park where you can really do some damage. Here's Goldie, who homered in the 6th. He doubled in the 8th. Just a bit outside. D-backs 7 runs, 8 hits. They've left 4. Reds 2 runs, 7 hits. They've left 4.
Fastball in the dirt kind of scattered the gallery there. Barnhart turned one way. Greg Gibson turned the other way, just trying to avoid getting hit with that laser beam in the dirt.
And Andriese warming up in the D-back bullpen. Brad Boxberger had been warming up, and now with a 7-2 lead, the closer can sit down. Save him for later in this road trip. Boy, Maya's got some heat. 96 is right there. 3-1. He does look a lot like Jose Rio.
He really does.
Yeah, that's a good call. Out foul, full count, 3-2. Now some dark clouds coming in from the left here behind third base. Doesn't look too bad, but wouldn't be a bad idea to get this one wrapped up. 3-2 to Goldie. There it goes. Way back and gone. His second home run today, and Goldie makes it 8-2. And he's not giving that one back. That's a Goldie home run ball. No way I'm throwing that back.
Wow. Boy, and once again, not to belabor the point, but it comes on a bad slider. The guy's out there throwing 97 miles an hour, and he's getting beat with a horrible breaking ball.
Deep breaths.
Tip of the cap.
Nice job. Number 26 for Paul Goldschmidt, his second home run today. Here's David Peralta. And the 4th Diamondback homer. Another jumbo jack in the box for you tomorrow.
Boy, and once again, look at this slider. That's up above the belt, inside part of the plate. That pitch got exactly what it deserved.
Let's see if we can see the catch. Goldie doing Goldie things. That was a big key last year. Peralta sends one the other way. This has got a chance, and that one is gone. They go back to back. The third D-back home run in this 9th inning, make it 9-2. And Peralta stays hot. That's his 5th home run this month.
Goldie's was a no-doubter. This one was a little bit of a surprise. It looked like David was somewhat tardy on that fastball, but got the barrel on it. Another pitch elevated. Fence high fastball. David rides it out of here to left field.
He just kind of pushed it out there. The only question was, would it stay fair? And it did. Danny Darwin, the pitching coach out there. Opposite field home run leaders in the league. D-backs are 1 and 2.
How about that?
Maya just trying to survive this 9th. He gave up a double and a walk to start the 8th and then got 3 outs. But here in the 9th, Ahmed doubled. He struck out Avila. Escobar homered. He struck out Jay. Then Goldie and Peralta go back to back. And now here's AJ. The bats have come alive. Diamondbacks scored 3 runs in the first 2 games of this series. They put up a 9 spot in the finale. AJ 0 for 4. Pitcher spot is behind Pollock after the double switch. John Ryan Murphy, the on deck circle. 1-1 is in there for a strike. Field for Hamilton. Diamondbacks get 4 in the 9th. They homer 3 times. Escobar got it started, and then Goldie and Peralta go back to back. Diamondbacks in Cincinnati lead it 9-2. They've scored 9 times.
Diamondbacks with 3 homers there in the top of the 9th. Now, right after the game, we've got D-backs Local 9 coming your way. It's presented by CenturyLink. Archie Bradley, along with pitching coach Mike Butcher and Yoshi Hirano. And get to know the guys a little bit better as Todd Walsh interviews them and asks them about all their favorite local spots in Arizona. Once again, it's D-backs Local 9 coming your way after the game. Guys, I guess that's how Reds Nation's feeling right now.
It's a playoff-like atmosphere here, Jody. Boy, oh boy. 9-2.
Just need a little nap. I'll just close my eyes for a moment.
Matt Andrees is on to work the bottom of the 9th inning.
He's going to wake up and the stadium's empty and he's the only person here.
He's locked in. Suarez will lead it off. Diamondbacks, all 9 runs scored via the home run. They've belted 5 here today. Suarez has singled twice, 2 for 3. This feels like a good way to shake off 2 extremely disappointing losses here Friday and Saturday.
Boy, absolutely. And the home runs are really nice. Don't get me wrong. You'll take home runs any day of the week. But I think even more importantly, they've been pounding mistake pitches, whether they hit it out of the ballpark or hit it down in the left field corner or in the gap. When Reds pitchers have made mistakes in the strike zone today, the D-backs have been ready to swing and swing aggressively.
And you're going up against a last place team in the Rangers, but as we've talked about and as we know, they can score double digits on you like that.
Yep.
So you got to feel a little bit better about the offensive production heading into Texas for 2 games, Monday and Tuesday. Nick Ahmed so quick. Goldie gets the foot on the bank. They retire Suarez. No post-game show after this one, as Jody just mentioned. The D-backs, Local 9, right after the ball game on Fox Sports Arizona. Archie Bradley, Yoshi Hirano, Mike Butcher, all sitting down with Todd. Mason Williams, 1 for 3. Three defenders on the first base side against the left-hand batter. Out of play, 1-1. Zach Greinke and Bartolo Colon tomorrow in Texas. Diamondback Live pregame show at 4:30 on Fox Sports Arizona. First pitch 5:05 Arizona time. And then Tuesday, Patrick Corbin against Giovanni Gallardo. Wednesday's a travel day off to San Diego. First of 4 against the Padres on Thursday. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, it's a tough break for the Diamondbacks playing in American League ballpark. Zach Greinke won't be able to swing the bat.
Yeah, they're hurt there. Ooh. They will get the DH, and maybe Goldie DHs a day. We'll see. Descalso's another candidate. Two. Texas still trailing in New York. Yankees lead the Rangers 7-2. They're in the 9th. That guy's friends just bailed. Leave him here. He'll wake up eventually. And Matt Andrees gets the strikeout, 2 down. Well, it's up to Tucker Barnhart, 0 for 3. D-backs with the win will get back to 11 games over 500. They'll be 65-54.
Reds have a big series coming up starting tomorrow.
Oh, the Battle of Ohio, right?
Battle of Ohio. The Cleveland Indians will be in town. Or as they call it around here, the land versus the natty.
Is that what they say?
That's what they say.
Well, the Reds get another first place ball club in here.
Dodgers still trailing in Colorado. It's 1-0 Rockies. They're in the fourth.
Here's a tapper that goes over the head of Andres. Marte is there. Shovel toss, and they just do get Barnhart. And the Diamondbacks get the series finale. They win it 9-2. And a much needed sigh of relief as we head off to Texas.
Now, not only to pick up a win and avoid the sweep here in Cincinnati, but to bust out the way they did offensively. We mentioned it just a moment ago. It seemed like every mistake a Reds pitcher made in the zone today got hit hard. Love to see it.
And Zach Godley gets his 13th win on the year. Godley has now lost only once in his last 12 starts. Let's try and keep the celebration down. Let this guy sleep it away. As the D-backs are off to Texas with a 9.